Hi guys, it is Wednesday of week 6 and we are on language today and we're going to be on page 183 to 184. You also need your draft that you wrote. So have that available on page 183, 184, a pencil, and let's get going. By now you guys should have already written your draft, your rough draft of your paper or of your book review. It's a book review. It's like a mini paper in essence. So let's look at page 183. It says revising. So remember Hudson. Hudson is the boy who read the story A Dog Named Watson, which I really want to read now because he has a great review on it. But it says Hudson read the rough draft of his book review to his classmate Ariel. She noticed that he had left the author's name out of his review. She also suggested that he add some details about the setting. The setting is where the story takes place. Ariel pointed out one sentence in the opinion paragraph that didn't belong. Hudson made changes to correct these problems, and he also thought of a few more changes to make. Here is his rough draft with his revisions marked on it. So you are going to have your rough draft, but let's see what Hudson did. It says, A Story I'll Never Forget. He has a really strong title. Why would a dog be given a Medal of Honor? And it says Hudson added some details about the setting at a special ceremony in a small town. He added these details right here. The exciting story is found in the book, A Dog Named Watson. And we had to add by Terry Bledsoe. Now, I don't know why they didn't capitalize dog, but I would capitalize that, right? It's a title. Watson is a German Shepherd who has been abandoned. So they changed the word abandoned for the word left. It's a stronger word. On the road near Beaverton. So we added some more details about setting in there. The Crandall family find him and take him into their home. Ryan Crandall, a 10-year-old, names Watson and treats him like his own pet. One day, Ryan and his friends take Watson with them to an overnight hike to Cedar Falls. You will have to read the book to find out how Watson keeps the hike from ending in tragedy. Now remember, this is a revision. It's not necessarily a proofreading for words that are misspelled, and that's why, like, even when I read it, I'm like, oh, that's not how you spell tragedy, right? But that's okay. So if in your revising you find words that need proofread, go ahead and do them, okay? Although there is one sad part that I did not like. I liked, so we're going to take out the word like and write enjoyed. It's a stronger word. This book overall. One thing I like about the book is the way the author tells the story from Watson's point of view. It is interesting and funny to see the world through the eyes of a dog. I also think that, so that's a good transitional phrase. That's what he added in there's a transitional phrase. I also think that the characters in the book are terrific. So we took out the word great, it's kind of a weak word, right? And wrote the word terrific. Next page, especially Ryan. Him and his friends all have their own personalities. Misspelled word, but that's okay. They remind me of some of my friends. And then he went on to write, there was one part where Ryan and his friends had to go to the principal's office. So he decided to delete that sentence because it didn't really belong. It may have happened in the book, but it didn't really belong in his story or in his review of the book. Finally, I like the ending to the story. The author shows how friendships are stronger during times of trouble. I would highly recommend this book to anyone who likes animals or adventures. If you are a dog lover, and then he added, or even if you're not, A Dog Named Watson is a story you'll never forget. So we added a phrase to make his meaning more clear or clearer. So let's look at the bottom of this page. He did quite a bit of things quite a bit of work in his revision. Guys, whenever you write something, the first time you write it is never the thing you want to turn in. You always want to turn in the polished, the revised and proofread and polished product. You don't ever want to, unless it's a timed write, where you only have a certain amount of time to write it. That's the only time you would want to turn it in without really doing a whole process of writing. So the process we're doing today is the revising checklist. Look at the bottom of page 184. Revise your book review using the checklist. Use these checklists. It's super important that you do this. Use proofreading marks to mark your changes. So the book review begins in an interesting way. You have to check to see if it begins in an interesting way. It summarizes the main events of the plot up to the crisis or most exciting part. Now you're going to be using the page, I think it was 181 or 182, the page that you wrote to help you, I'd have to look at it, but the page that you used to help you set this up. So when you did this, you had your events, then your crisis, and then you had a reason for these things, right? So you're going to be using this paper. You should have already used this paper to write your draft. My book review gives details about the characters and setting. Hopefully it does. Gives 3 good reasons for my opinion. Gives details from the book to support each reason. Includes transitional words and phrases. You can find those back on the previous pages. And closes with a recommendation to the reader. Now, it doesn't have to be a recommendation that you like the book and for them to read it. No, it can say, I recommend not reading this book, but you have to give details why you recommend or you don't recommend the book. So tonight, remember, short lesson so that you can revise. You are going to go in and you are going to revise your draft. And you're going to using the 7 items from the revising checklist on page 184. After you've done that, please take a picture of it and send it to me. You can send it to my email here. I'm going to put my email here because some of you guys are still asking. It's been the same all year. So it's shauna.rossini@christianunified.org. You can also send it in a private comment on Google Classroom. I would really, really, really like you to send it to me. Actually, it's necessary. So after you've done the revising, I need to see all your marks. I need to see your proofreading marks. Okay, nobody's paper is perfect the first time. So make sure that you've checked it and you've used the 7 things on this checklist to help you with your revising. And it'll make, when you write it, the final copy a whole lot smoother. Okay, so guys, if you have any questions, please ask me. You can always ask me on Google Classroom, or you can write me or shoot me an email. Okay, we'll see you later. Goodbye.